everyone, welcome back to In a Pinch with Hitsu Zen. I'm Hitsu Zen, you can call me Chris, and today we're talking about Toque Limited Edition Fig and Juniper. I want to say off the bat before even getting into this review that this is a step in a whole new direction for Roderick. This stuff blew me away. I've said it publicly on the forums, I've said it publicly on Facebook, and I'll say it here. I am not, by and large, a huge fan of Toque's scented snuffs, with the exception of two of their scented toasts, and there are a few. I'm not going to list them all. Spanish Gem, St. Clement's, I do like. Toque Blueberry, I'm actually starting to really get into. But the bulk of Toques, I'm not too into their scented. I love their Toque Natural. I ordered a econ bag with this. Anyways, so getting into it, because I want to get right into it. The color of this, if the lighting tonight will permit, the coloring is a little bit darker than you might be used to from Toque. Just a couple of shades. It takes us from a dark khaki that you usually get with the majority of Toques to almost a milk chocolate kind of brown. It is quite moist, much more so than any Toque I've ever had, and the grind seems to be a little bit coarser. But honestly, it could be my mind playing tricks on me because it is so much more moist than I'm used to. Out of the tin, there's ammonia, which if you guys have ever ordered straight from Toque, you know, like you get it really fresh, and the ammonia is there with everything you open. But I get, just being objective, ammonia, kind of a musty smell, but not a bad musty smell, like a familiar musty smell, and like a sour berry, like a lingonberry, maybe a cranberry, and of course I've had this already a few times, but so I know that, you know, that's not what I get in the nose. But tin note, that's the fruit note that I'm getting is all. I want to narrow it down and just say lingonberry. But anyways, what's important is what this stuff does in the nose. So I'm going to take a pinch, set that tin aside. I'm going to take it off the back of the hand. Just recently I've been getting really into taking off the back of the hand, you know, for most of the time I've been using snuff, I've just been a pincher. I pinch everything, and then if I'm working or I just need a big bump of it, I'll pour out a fat boxcar, but 9 times out of 10 the pinch. But recently, yeah, I've been getting really into the back of the hand. I was talking with Snuff Anybody McFeagle, and he mentioned the Dutch snuff box. So I'm using, if you can see, this part of the hand. He was talking about using, well, now I got my hand, I can't use this hand to point to it, but, you know, let me go ahead and salud and skål. Yeah, so I was just using this part of the hand. He was talking about using this right here, and so that was called the Dutch snuff box, which I thought was kind of cool. Anyways, in the nose, mild burn, really nothing to speak of there. Mild burn goes away pretty quick. The ammonia is there, but also, and this isn't in the description of the snuff, so I don't know if this was intended or not, but definitely like a wet oak and like fresh wet soil is the very first thing that hits me, like a strong wet wood smell and a muskiness, but again, mustiness. This is like my 5th take on this video. I don't know what's going on with me tonight, but yeah, a mustiness and like a dried wood smell. And for the first couple of minutes, that's the predominant smell. There's other stuff going on, but like if you were to number the scents, to me, by proportion, the first couple of minutes are dominated by this really interesting, musty, wet wood, wet soil kind of smell. I like that a lot. What starts to happen eventually is the fig starts coming out. Now, this is not dried fig. I think most of us are pretty familiar with dried fig. The fig that you pick up from Sir Walter Scott's Creme de Figue, which is my desert island snuff. If I could afford to, I would snuff that all day, every day for the rest of my life. I really don't believe I'd ever get bored of it. Very expensive for me, so that's never going to happen. But that fig is a dried fig. This is fresh fig. And I had never tried fresh figs until last year. We found some at the grocery store. Incredibly expensive, because figs are expensive to import. Apparently they go bad really quick. So if they were to mass import them, they'd all be rotten by the time they got to our stores. I paid for them one time because I was so curious what fresh figs tasted like, and I was blown away that it's completely different from what dried figs taste like. The smell that starts coming on of the fig is that of fresh fig. And I don't even know if I would describe it as a smell when you're experiencing a fresh fig, because when I was cutting them, there was almost no smell. It was a smell that gathered in my sinuses as I was eating them. And it's such a delicate, watery, I have no idea how Roderick captured this smell. It's almost like if you ever had dragon fruit, or certain melons just have that really delicate taste and scent that gathers in your sinuses while you eat it. Fresh fig is kind of the same way, and that's what I start getting coming on over that wet wood. What happens another minute or two into it is then a tartness starts coming in, and that's the juniper. Now, I've only experienced juniper in two forms, in liquor, of course, gin, when I used to drink, and in dried juniper berries when making loose teas. When using dried juniper berries in loose teas, that's usually what I use them for, is to bring like a sour, bitter, astringent taste to it. And I would almost describe this as that, but it's not astringent at all. It just brings a sourness to it, but a good kind of sourness that makes the fig more pronounced and bright and almost seems sweeter, even though there's no sweetness to it at all. All this happens over a very long period of time, which again puts this a few paces ahead of where most Toque snuffs are, in that this is a long experience. Like, all said, 30 good minutes of olfactory satisfaction. And really throughout the day, you can walk outside and randomly catch whiffs of it. But it doesn't stick with you to the degree that, you take a pinch of this and it's going to be an hour before you can take a pinch of anything else. It fades, and it's subtle, but it really has staying power. A lot of levels of complexity. Really, really good stuff. And Roderick, if you're watching, I implore you, make this a regular part of your lineup. I'll buy it in bulk. I think a lot of other people would too. If you guys aren't already signed up at toquesnuff.com, it's the only way you can get any of their limited editions. They only come in the 10-gram tins. Anytime he puts out the limited editions, see, there we go again. The limited editions, he only puts them out in these 10-gram tins, and I don't know if that's because, obviously they're a smaller batch than Toque usually does. So maybe they're trying to ration it out. I don't know. It's frustrating though, because most of them are pretty good. I know this year's pumpkin pie, I did a video on that. That was pretty outstanding too. Anyways, that's all I really have to say about this. I'm gonna go ahead and eat dinner. Please try it out. Comment below if you try it. See if I'm curious if any of you guys pick up that wet wood smell, or if anyone has a different interpretation of it. Please do chime in below. Start a discussion. So I got. If I post this tonight, then it's what day is it on? Tuesday. So you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. Be kind to each other. God bless, and salud.